Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us this evening. While we wait for the event to begin, let us have an icebreaker session. As you can see, there is a poll up on your screen now. Please go ahead and fill this poll for us. Request you to answer all the questions. Thank you. I'm also pleased to let you all know that this year FFE has conducted 10 virtual events, 10 virtual open houses till date, and this is the 11th one and the last one for this financial year. So it is indeed a very important and a special one. And in FFE's history, this is the first time we have reached out to over 4,000 scholars pan-India, covering almost 27 states. We'll just give it another minute or so, and we will begin the event sharp at 5:30. Meanwhile, please answer the poll, and thank you all for joining us this evening. Thank you for answering the poll. Thank you everyone for answering the poll. We will share the results with you shortly. So hello and good evening once again. I'm Prarthana, and it is my pleasure to extend a hearty welcome to all of you to FFE's virtual meet. With the pandemic hitting us physically and emotionally, it has become all the more necessary for us to stay connected and come together to achieve our goals with much more enthusiasm and positivity. And precisely the reason why we are conducting this session today for our scholars studying in Karnataka. We are delighted to have with us our scholars, facilitators, and alumni from different parts of the country. We are extremely grateful to our donors and guests who are also joining us today. We welcome Ms. Geeta Goyal, Ms. Savleen Kaur, and Mr. Anant Suri from Michael and Susan Dell Foundation, Mr. Mahesh Krishnamurthy, the champion behind FFE's law program from Omidyar Network India Advisors Private Limited, Mr. Sudhin Matthew and Ms. Vijayashree from Society General Global Solutions Center, Ms. Nehal Negi from Give India, Mr. Kiran Suryavanshi from TransUnion Sibyl, Ms. Sudha and Mr. Edwin from Cognizant Foundation, Ms. Vahini from KPMG, and Mr. Azhar Nadav from Sonus Networks India Private Limited. We also welcome our donors, Mrs. Krishna Agarwala from SN Foundation, Ms. Karpagavalli M. from Shiva and Royan Foundation, Mr. C. Babu Joseph, Mr. Mithun Dhali, and Mr. Pavan Kumar. We are pleased to welcome Mr. and Mrs. Seshan, FFE India Trust Board Member, Ms. Smita Uttarwar, and Mr. Anil Kumar joining us from California, who's representing FFE USA. It goes without saying how pleased and honored we are at FFE to have you all with us this evening. thank you once again. Before we move ahead with the first agenda, I would like to share the poll results with all of you. Can we please have the results? And these results sure look interesting. And I'm sure during the course of this event, you will be able to figure out most of the questions if you didn't know the answers. I'll just give you a few seconds to look through what the answers are. I would now like, thank you for sharing the poll results. I would now like to begin this evening by inviting FFE's Managing Trustee, Dr. Sudha Kidao, to address the gathering. Dr. Sudha has been volunteering for FFE for more than a decade, first in the US and from 2010 in India, beginning with the establishment of FFE's office here in Bangalore. Please welcome Dr. Sudha Kidao.
Thank you, Prarthana, and good evening, everyone. I'm absolutely delighted to see all of you here this evening. We would have liked to have met you in person, but one of the more positive things that have come out of these terrible times because of COVID is we are able to meet so many of you virtually. This would not have been possible where we would have always wanted to meet you in person. So thank you for joining us virtually. Your presence and your participation means a lot to the foundation. I would like to welcome all the students, all the scholars. Congratulations for being awarded FFE Scholarship. A very special welcome to our facilitators who are the backbone of the foundation, our donors, our alumni, and we have a few special guests today whom I'll mention as we go along. And of course, our keynote speaker, Geeta Goyal, who through the Michael and Susan Dell Foundation have been one of the strongest supporters and funders to FFE's both scholarship program as well as the skills training program. Welcome to all of you. We have a lot to cover this evening, so I'd like to start by quickly telling you a little bit more about the Foundation for Excellence and our history. The next slide, please. So the mission of the foundation is, as you all know, it is to bring about a transformation in the lives of students like you all, very bright, but some financial challenges about attending college. And we think that the scholarship program will help you get jobs after you graduate and bring about a big change in not just your lives, but that of your families and your communities. So welcome to all the scholars for being awarded this FFE scholarship. Next slide, please. As you all know, the scholarship program began with scholarships for engineering and medical students. Last year, FFE celebrated its 25th anniversary. We're really proud of that milestone. And we added scholarships for 2 new programs. They are Law and B.Pharm. And today I'm really delighted that we have Mr. Mahesh Krishnamurthy, who is the biggest champion and the power behind the law program. And it is through his donation and his commitment, along with Omidyar Network, that we were able to launch the scholarship program last year. So thank you, Mr. Mahesh Krishnamurthy, for all that you're doing for us and your commitment to making a difference. Next slide, please. A little bit about the history of the foundation. I just mentioned we celebrated our 25th anniversary last year. It started with Dr. Prabhu Goyal and Mrs. Poonam Goyal. Dr. Prabhu Goyal is a successful entrepreneur based in the US. He started the Foundation for Excellence in 1994 in the US. And you'll hear a little bit more about Dr. Goyal, a successful engineer, in a few minutes. And he and his wife, Poonam, started the organization with the hope that they will bring about a transformation in the lives of very bright students. The scholarship program was always in India. The initial funds came from the Goyals and other donors in the US. So students got funded, they did very well, they got jobs, and they wanted to give back to the Foundation for Excellence. They wanted to pay forward to help more students like themselves. And that is how the Foundation for Excellence India Trust began in the year 2003. Today we have just one office in India, in Bangalore, and we run the national program from this office. I'm also very pleased today to welcome Mr. Suresh Seshan. He was the first managing trustee of the Foundation for Excellence India Trust, and I'm very happy to welcome you and Mrs. Seshan to this evening's event. I learned a lot from you, Mr. Seshan, and I think you've been a very important part of our growth, both from the US and in India. So the other milestone is we've helped more than 25,000 students so far. And in the 25-year journey, that's where we are at. Next slide, please. As you all know, we have FFE US, we have a board in the US, and we have Minu Gupta, who's the president of the board. FFE India Trust, we have 5 trustees. I'm delighted to welcome Ms. Smita Uttarwar, our trustee, who's been associated with the foundation for 26 years, right from the start. So thank you, Smita, for joining us this evening. The Board of Trustees in India works very closely with the board in the US. The trustees are Dr. Rishi Krishnan, who's today the director of IIM Bangalore. We have Smita Uttarwar, Venk Shukla, very successful entrepreneur, and Mr. Arun Kumar, who is the CEO and chairman of KPMG India. Next slide, please. So what does FFE India Trust do? As I mentioned, we have a single office here in Bangalore. We administer the scholarship program. And as you know, the number of students getting scholarships have grown substantially over the years. We administer the alumni program. All the students who graduate go on to become part of the alumni family, the alumni community. We also manage the large base of volunteers who are a very important part of our work. And I'll tell you a little bit more about it soon. We raise funds to run all the various programs, the fundraising happens both in India and in the US. We conduct events like this, and we also work with various partner NGOs, and many of whom are represented here attending this event this evening. So I want to thank them as well. So we have over 40 corporates who are our partners, our donors, our sponsors, thousands of individuals, many of whom are our own FFE alumni, donors. And of course, we have some charitable trusts whose donations have been significant and make a big difference to our work, including the Michael and Susan Dell Foundation. Next slide, please. I've mentioned that we are deeply grateful to our volunteer network. We have over 500 volunteers in 27 states in India. And all of you students are matched to one of the volunteers. We are very thankful to all of them, our facilitators, whose work is very important for the growth and the credibility and the integrity with which we do our work at the Foundation for Excellence. So I want to thank all the volunteers, the facilitators who have called in today. Thank you for your dedicated services to the Foundation. And I know that Mrs. Seshan unofficially did a lot of the facilitator work as well. So thank you for being here. Next slide, please. Where are we today? As you can see on this graph, we've grown over the years. Last year, we awarded over 6,300 scholarships. In totality, we've given over 63,000 scholarships. 189 crores is the value of the scholarships we've awarded in all of the years in the last 26 years. And we've helped now over 23,000 students. So all of you are very important to our work, all you students, because when you become alumni, we want you to take on the responsibility of running the organization because it's yours. Next slide, please. How did we do last year? As I mentioned, we started with 2 scholarships. We introduced 2 more, the law program and B-Farm. You can see in terms of gender distribution, we have 23% of our scholarship recipients are women. It used to be 20%, and we're slowly increasing the participation of women, and we hope that will increase every year. We are striving to bring in as many qualifying women students into the scholarship program. And as I mentioned, the national average, in India is 80%, usually it's 80% men. We've shifted the needle a little bit. Here you can see that 73% are students in the engineering field. We have students in medical as well, 24%, and then the rest are between BPharm and law. And we hope the two new programs, BPharm and law, will also grow substantially over the years. Next slide, please. How do we do in Karnataka? It's a little bit different from the rest of India. We see that we have slightly more higher representation of women, 1% more, but everything counts. The interesting thing here is the rest of India, it's usually 80% are engineers, 20% are medical students. We have a large number of medical students here in Karnataka, and we have representation from both law as well as BPharm. Last year in Karnataka, in all of Karnataka, we awarded over 1,000 scholarships, 5 crores. One of the states where we have the largest number of scholarship awardees. Next slide, please. Where are we on the India map? There's a lot of data on this map, but basically, the black dots represent areas, states where we have good representation, and that includes Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, Maharashtra. You can see the red dots, which are states where we need to do a lot more. We need to do a lot better, be able to identify students and help students in many of those states as well. Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, we have Assam, Nagaland, Manipur, Tripura. I hope we can grow and help more students in some of those areas as well. Next slide, please. One very important thing that has happened and changed in FFE over the years is we used to be just a scholarship granting organization. I'm very proud to say that today we are probably one of the largest in India with a pan-India presence and awarding scholarships in the higher education space. I know that there may be other scholarships, but ours is a little unique in that in addition to the scholarship program, we have a skills training program funded generously by the Michael and Susan Dell Foundation. And I want to mention that the partnership with MSDF, the Michael and Susan Dell Foundation, started in 2013 with the award of scholarships. And today they are funding us through the skills training program. I know all of you engineering students are going through the program, and I'm hoping that these are impactful programs that we are providing you so that you can succeed and get the jobs and the other opportunities that you want to pursue, including, I know many of you want to pursue your higher studies. Some of you want to go into the civil services. Others want to become entrepreneurs. We hope that the skills training program will help you achieve your goals, your dreams. And I'm thankful to MSDF for funding the skills training program, which I think every student is looking forward to going through the training and to attain the skills that will help them in their employability goals. We also have a second partner, Capgemini, who started last year in the same skills training program. I know the law students are going through this as well, so it's for engineering and law students. The other aspect of FFE's work is the mentoring program. This is again for third-year engineering students, where students are matched to mentors in the corporate sector. This year, we hope to have 300 mentor-mentee pairs going through the mentoring program. And again, it complements all your learnings from college. The skills training and the mentoring complements what you're learning from college, and hoping that you will get the skills again for employment. And we're very happy that we have today 8 lawyers who are also mentoring the law students. We also do what we can by leveraging our network to provide internship opportunities for projects and placement. And we would like to ask all our corporate partners, our donors, to also provide opportunities for workshops, for any kind of training sessions that will enhance and enrich student and college life. Because I think given the pandemic, everybody is ready to upskill in these difficult times. And I think technology has a great role to play here. And I think we see that all students today are attending college classes online. So any kind of training that is being provided to them is being actually absorbed by students. And we're delighted that they're making use of these opportunities. Next slide, please. The circle of giving, this is indeed a very important part of what we do at FFE. where we find that students after they graduate are able to pay forward as part of their pledge of honor to support at least 2 students through a contribution to the Foundation for Excellence. And I'm delighted that last year alone, over 1,500 of our own alumni donated over 1 crore in donations to the Foundation for Excellence. And of course, all of this goes to support scholarships, and that means more students are supported. We're very thankful to the alumni, and I want to say that this organization is yours. You have to take the leadership role and make this truly a self-sustaining organization. I'm also very happy that our own alumni, not only did they give and contribute generously of their own, they've also tapped into their networks at work, their social networks, all of whom have contributed. They've also gone and spoke to the companies where they work, and many of the corporates where they work have in turn adopted and sponsored the scholarship of numerous students. So alumni, thank you for all that you do for the Foundation for Excellence. And we hope that this growth will continue, and you will be able to do a lot more through your networks by leveraging that. Thank you. Next slide, please. This is a slide to just tell you that we've won numerous awards and recognition. One very important one is the GuideStar India Award for credibility, for accountability, for integrity, all of which is very important to any organization. And this is something that is important for FFE as well. Most recently, just this Monday, we were also awarded a certificate or a plaque of appreciation from Cognizant Foundation. This is on your upper left top corner. And we're very happy and proud of this award for our scholarship program and a very long sustaining partnership with Cognizant Foundation. And I want to say thank you for the representatives of Cognizant Foundation who are here this evening. Next slide, please. This tells you how the organization has grown. A lot of corporates are sponsors involved here in order to make these programs possible, and they are responsible for the growth of the foundation. These are the corporates. As I've mentioned, there are thousands of individuals whose contributions also make a significant difference to the foundation. To all of you scholars, I'm sure you can see your donor in this slide, and I hope you can identify the corporate who's been responsible for funding your scholarship. Next slide, please. As I mentioned, we have partners who are also from other foundations and trusts. It includes the Michael and Susan Dell Foundation, who's here with us today, a World of Opportunity Foundation. A large number of you students are funded by them. They are part of the Aditya Birla Group, and you can see Cognizant Foundation, Dasra, the Hans Foundation, which is based in Uttarakhand. I want to thank everyone, the foundations as well as the corporates who've made all of this possible, along with all of you individuals who believe in the cause and are committed to that. Next slide, please. How is all of this possible? Because it's possible because we have this absolutely dynamic team based in Bangalore. They've been working relentlessly through these times as well. And they will be, very quickly processing your scholarship applications, making sure the scholarship gets to you on time. And I want to thank this team for being there and working really hard to make sure all the programs that we run are successful. The finance team, the training and mentoring team, the alumni team, the donor relations team, the scholarship team, technology, as well as general admin. The 27-person team has worked really hard, and I want to thank each and every one of them who are here, represented here, and are joining this call as well. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Sudha, for this wonderful presentation. I'm sure this has answered a lot of questions that were posted earlier on the poll too. It's overwhelming to see more than 900 participants at this event, and I want to just say thank you once again for making time today. I would also like to request the participants to please use the Q&A box to post any questions you may have. We will have a Q&A session at the end, and we can address the same then. Today, not only do we have our stakeholders from across India, but we also have a message from FFE's founder, Dr. Prabhu Goyal, who is currently in the US, an IIT Kanpur alumnus and the recipient of the President's Gold Medal for Academic Excellence. Dr. Goyal received a PhD in electrical engineering from Carnegie Mellon University. Dr. Prabhu and his wife, Mrs. Poonam Goyal, established the Foundation for Excellence in 1994. Dr. Goyal started his career with management and technical positions at IBM, and over time has served on the board of directors of many private and public companies. Let us now listen to Dr. Prabhu Goyal's message.
Hello, everyone. I'm delighted to be able to welcome you all to this FFE Open House. In particular, I want to welcome our scholars, our alumni, our facilitators, the FFE management team, our guests, and our esteemed donors. A very, very warm welcome to each and every one of you. I want to convey a few messages in this video. It will be short. First, to the scholars. These are difficult times indeed. COVID is not easy to deal with under any circumstances. To have to complete your education in an environment where you cannot be at school in person is even harder, with or without online courses. I know that our scholars can overcome these challenges. And why do I have this confidence? The reason I have this confidence is you, because you have shown in the past that you can overcome any odds to be successful. To get to where you are today, you did indeed overcome insurmountable odds. I congratulate you for that, and I wish you all the best for your continuing efforts and success. To the alumni that are present today, I want to remind you to continue your connections with FFE as you move forward in life, and do not forget to help others who have not been as fortunate as yourselves. Help them achieve and overcome the same obstacles that you had to face in your lives. For all our scholars, alumni or current scholars, keep upskilling yourself. The more valuable you are to the world around you, the more valuable you become to yourself. Continue to develop new skills. Make yourself more valuable. To our current scholars, we have a lot of online programs at FFE that we offer for upskilling. Online courses for soft skills. We have technical courses that we use to supplement your college education. And we have supplemental courses in things like Python, etc., that are available to you. So please do take advantage of them and make them enhance your value. To the facilitators that are out there today, we could not have been where we are today in terms of connecting with the scholars had it not been for you. And you do this as volunteers. We're very grateful to you for that. And finally, to our esteemed donors, this entire effort that we go through, this entire organization would not be possible without your financial support and generosity. The fact that you come back and support us year after year is what keeps us going, what keeps our scholars going, and what allows us to be successful. Thank you so, so very much. I wish you all a wonderful day, and I hope we all come out of it learning a lot more on how to address the challenges of the future. Thank you all.
A wonderful and inspiring message from FFE's founder, Dr. Prabhu Goyal. I would now like to introduce you all to our keynote speaker for this evening, Ms. Geeta Goyal. Geeta is Country Director, India at the Michael and Susan Dell Foundation. In her role, Geeta manages the strategy and implementation of the foundation's work in India in its key areas of education, livelihoods, and financial inclusion for urban low-income communities. Today, the foundation has committed almost rupees 2,000 crores in India towards these three programs across 150 grants, social enterprises, and projects with the government. Geeta has represented the foundation on several boards of its investee companies, including Ujjivan, Janalakshmi, Swadhar, Arohan, and Micro Housing Finance Corporation. Geeta has served as chairperson of the Impact Investors Council in India from April 2017 to March 2019. In 2020, she was nominated by Forbes India's list of Women Power, 20 Women Changing the Game. Before joining MSDF, Geeta spent more than 12 years with PricewaterhouseCoopers in its financial advisory services practice. She's an alumnus of Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, and Lady Shri Ram College, New Delhi. Michael and Susan Dell Foundation has been associated with FFE scholarship program since 2013, and from 2017, they are funding FFE's training and skills development program that second, third, and fourth year engineering students are currently going through. We thank MSDF for this long-standing partnership. It is indeed an honor and pleasure to have Ms. Geeta Goyal with us this evening. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Geeta Goyal. Over to you, Ms. Geeta.
Thank you, Pratna. I actually feel after Sudha and Dr. Prabhu, there is no need for a keynote. I mean, I think the work that FFE is doing, the scholars that FFE has, the volunteers it has, actually just is a very different and a very enriching experience for everybody who's associated with the organization. And, as I was thinking about this session this morning, I thought in the last 7 months, one has attended so many, webinars, Zoom calls, meetings with, with our own board, with other board members, with senior government officials, senior industrialists. But if there was one meeting that I wanted to have in person, it was this meeting, because I just think, the interaction with the young students is always so energizing and so motivating for me. So today, speaking to a blank screen is actually no fun at all. I mean, I wish we could have the two-way interaction with the students, see the sort of the spark in the eyes and the smiling faces. It just makes, life worth it. But I guess we are living in the circumstances that we are. And I think to Sudha's point, yes, the positive side is that we are being able to do it at a much larger scale than what we could have done, when we were doing it in specific locations. So I would just say, I mean, to all the students, current and alumni students, I think, I mean, really the future is in your hands. I think each and every one of you have actually the power to, reshape the world that we live in. I meet a lot of young people, and, they crave about we haven't inherited a world that we should have, all because of you. So I think, yes, our generation hasn't done justice. But again, we are where we are. And I guess the person or the persons who can change it is you. So you really do have the power to transform the world we are in. And I think never ever underestimate that power. To say that I have inherited it and I will live with it, like, no. I guess each one of you has had that attitude that you will not give up. The grit and the resilience that each one of you have shown so far is again just gives us the confidence that you are the ones who will drive the change in future. So I think never ever underestimating oneself and always believing in oneself. And I think, I mean, thinking about you, but also what you want to do is critical. I mean, often, I guess when we are in school, we go from one class to the other as per the timetable. as you get into college and adulthood, I think we've seen enough of life to be able to make our decisions and not yet enough of life to be cynical. So I think that's the ideal age when you can actually say, I have the power to change my life and of the people around me. You need to decide what's the sphere of influence you want. Is it you and your family? Is it you and your school, you and your college, you and your community, you and the city, you and, so I think just having the ability to say, this is what I want to do, and this is the sphere of influence, or these are the people I want to impact, I think is an extremely critical step of going forward. So always taking the time to step back and say, why am I doing this, and how does it impact me and the people I want to impact, and where does it take me in my journey, is again one thing which COVID or no COVID, we should not give up on. Yes, I know, it's a crisis which is unprecedented. I cannot say more about the crisis than you know. I think the good thing is it's equalized everybody irrespective of age. Almost all of us know similar things about COVID. Uh, but yes, we've seen other crises, nothing of this scale and nature. And I would say, whether those are personal crises, industry level crisis, firm level or company level crisis. I would say the one thing each crisis does do, yes, it tests your grit, it tests your resilience, but it does sift away the strong from the weak. So, this is again the time that will uh, test us a lot. And I think we need to use all our power to actually come stronger out of it. I think failures and crises teach us a lot more than, wins and successes in life. So yes, we should not be um, welcoming failures, but I think we need to accept failures and crises as they come, more to learn from it, and to emerge stronger out of it. So I would say, let's take COVID as a failure or a setback we've had in life, accept it, and then actually see the positive sides to it. I think retain our own positive spirit, that becomes critical. I mean, there are people who are less affected, more affected, uh, and I think, I mean, even the stage of life makes a difference. A young student feels, I mean, I know I have a son in grade 10 who feels, oh, if I was in grade 10, it would have been much worse. Or if I was in grade 4, it would have made no difference. I mean, I have another son who's finishing college, and he's like, I mean, my future is so uncertain, and this is just the worst timing for me. But I mean, I don't think there's a good time or a bad time for a crisis. It hits us, we accept it. And I think if we can retain the positivity around it and focus on things that we can control. So yes, we can do online classes. We can, use this time to reskill, upskill ourselves. So whatever avenues for training that we have, let's build on those and move forward from there. And I also think this time actually allows us the time to dream and to dare. It is, I think, I mean, the world may just be very different from where we are today. So nothing will remain status quo. So let's question again where we want to go, how we will reach there. What are the tools that will help me? What are the networks and the connections that will help me? And I think the team at FFE, I mean, I'm just taking the liberty to say that on behalf of the team, but I have full confidence that FFE is a great platform for every student, current and alumni to fall back on, to take help where they need it. I think the platform that you all provide for each other in itself is a great platform. So always having the ability to jumpstart from it, to use it as a cushion, to learn from it, and to support it. All of those are there. So I would say, like, the one thing to be positive for is actually just being part of this great group is definitely there. And as I was I mean, the other thought I was having is like, how does the world change? And in fact, somebody used this acronym of COVID today. Like, I mean, how do you remember it? I mean, what does COVID leave behind for us, despite, all, I mean, besides all the health and the livelihoods impact? I think the factor of concern or empathy for people around us, for the society, definitely has gone up. So I would say, concern is the first one. Being online and virtual is the other. I mean, we will definitely post-COVID be more online than we were ever before. And I mean, it's just become a part of life for a lot of us. And I do hope we can bridge the digital divide as we go forward, and so that everybody can actually access the online platforms. I think the other two things it's bringing about and is forcing on us is innovation. Again, because things are not status quo, this is the time that I would say most innovations can happen. So even in your life, even in your studies, what do you want to change? How do you want to innovate? Are there ideas you want to discuss with your faculty? Are there startup ideas? Are there higher studies ideas? I mean, I think this is the time to experiment on all of that. And again, dream. I mean, this is the time to dream big, to dare to dream, and come out of it stronger. So yes, I mean, if in summary, I would say never ever underestimate yourself. Always step back and take charge of your life. The two words that should not come into your usage are but and because. I think, you always say, oh, I failed in this because the teacher was not good, or I did very well because the teacher was very good. Yes, give credit, but it's ultimately you who succeeded. So just retain the control and the charge of your life. Be positive, and just see the positives, dream big, and use the crisis and the FFE platform as a launch pad to just do bigger and better things in life. Thank you, Pratna, back to you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Geeta Goel. Your message indeed has inspired all of us here, and we thank you for your time and presence. Participants, another reminder to please continue posting your questions in the Q&A box. If you have any questions for Ms. Geeta Goel, please put it up there and we will address it at that point. Moving on, FFE has been very fortunate to be backed by a team of highly motivated and dedicated facilitators who have been helping FFE through their tireless efforts for many years and voluntary services. We have with us today one of our facilitators from Bangalore, Mrs. Shashikala Arora, who has been actively involved with FFE for a very long time. Let us now listen to her message.
Good evening to everyone at FFE, my fellow facilitators and my dear students. I have been associated with FFE for nearly 10 years now, and I've recommended 70 students. It has been a very beautiful journey. Last week I got a call from Manjunath, one of the first students I recommended. He's a farmer's son from Srinivaspur village. Today he heads a project for Cognizant in Japan. What a transformation. He was such a shy and diffident student. Today he sounds so articulate and so confident. Those are the joys of being a facilitator. When I meet the prospective student and their families, there is joy that their ward has secured a good rank and a good seat in a good college. But there's also a sense of helplessness on how they are going to meet the financial challenges of paying the fees, the hostel fees. That's where FFE steps in so beautifully and not only provides financial assistance, but also gives them a mentor and trains them in soft skills and helps them in internship, etc. And the students have expressed their gratitude for this. Well, FFE itself has been evolving and adopting technology, and which has impacted the facilitators as well. We get to meet our students less and less. I have also adopted technology to keep in connection with my students through WhatsApp. I encourage them to post their progress and also challenges, if any. And they have been sharing with me how it feels to take online classes these days from their villages and towns. Our students are not only brilliant, but they are very hardworking, determined, and highly motivated, and also compassionate. And I'm so sure that they're going to do very well in their life. And I'm also sure that they're going to share their time and resource with the many more deserving and needy students who require that from all across the country. Thank you for giving me this opportunity for sharing my thoughts with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your warm and heartfelt message. We have another video message from facilitator, Mr. Nagaraja S. from Shimoga. Let us now listen to his message, please.
Hello, I am S. Nagaraja, a facilitator from Shimoga. My association with Foundation for Excellence is for more than 25 years. I am happy to be a part of this noble cause. Catering to the needs of thousands of meritorious students all over India, irrespective of their caste, creed, religion, and sex, is really something great. The systems and procedures of the whole process are very simple and transparent. Because of this project, thousands of families have been uplifted. On behalf of all these families, I take this opportunity to thank all the donors, the office bearers, and the dedicated staff of FFE. My only request to all the beneficiary students is when you complete your education and when you are gainfully employed, have a sense of gratitude towards Foundation for Excellence, keep in touch with FFE and join hands to carry forward this great mission. Thank you all.
And thank you, sir, for your inspiring message as well. We are thankful to each one of our facilitators who are, in fact, the backbone of our organization. Over 40 of them are here with us today. Mrs. Shashikala Arora, Mrs. Mahalakshmi Parthasarthi, Mrs. Vasanti Savanur, Mr. Nadigar N.S., Ms. Suprita P., Mr. Anand Betadur, Mr. Tej Kumar Arora, Mr. Prabhakara, Mr. Ramesh N.R., Mr. Raghu K.S. from Shishu Mandir, Mr. Madhav Raj, Mr. Sri Rama B., Mr. Shiv Kumar, Mrs. Nalini S., Mrs. Satyabhama, Mrs. Hema Deshpande, Mr. Surya Prakash, Mr. Pramod Kulkarni, Mrs. Shobha Menon from Crystal House, Mr. Vijay Kulkarni, Mr. Ram Prakash, Mr. Shantaram Hegre, Mr. Manohar Hosmani, Mr. Bhupal Bavache, Mr. Kamala Avdhani, Mr. Harshraj Shetty, Mr. Prahlad Kalapur, Mr. Meti GB, Mr. Krishna Hegde, Ms. Kalpana, Mr. Mahesh Bondal, Captain Ganesh Karnik, Gopala Krishna Ars, Mr. Lakshmi Narsimha, Mr. Raj Ratnam, Mr. Ayush from Avanti Fellows, Mr. Dayanand Patange, Mrs. Ananta Lakshmi, Mr. Nagaraja S., Mr. Sanganna Hugar, and Mr. Mahableshwar Hegde. Today, we are also recognizing and acknowledging contributions of some of FFE's facilitator volunteers. Please put your hands together and cheer for them by sending messages on the chat box as their names are being called out. I would like Dr. Sudha to please take over.
Thank you, Prarthana. I want to take this opportunity to thank all our volunteers. I know that many of you have been associated with FFE far longer than I have, and you know about how the organization has grown, and you've been very much a part of our growth journey. Thank you for your dedicated services. I know many of you have mentored hundreds of kids, students over all the years. Thank you for all that you do for us as volunteers in various parts of Karnataka. And all we are able to do at this time is to express a heartfelt thank you and our show of appreciation through the award of certificates of appreciation. On the special honor roll, I would like to now call a few names of our dedicated volunteers today. I'd like to start with Mr. Guru Prasad, Mr. Harsharaj, Mr. Anantalakshmi, Mr. Dayananda Patrenge, Mr. Krishna Hegde, Captain Ganesh Karnik, Mr. Meti GB, Mr. Bhupal Bavache, and Mr. Mahesh Bondal. Thank you all. I know several of you whose names are not here, but I know we've been able to appreciate you at other events. So, and that is why this honor roll is a little short. But every one of you make a difference to the organization. Heartfelt thank you from the entire board and everyone whose life has been impacted by your work. Thank you.
Thank you, Sudha. We thank each one of you for your dedication and commitment towards FFE. I request all the panel members to please turn on your videos for all the participants here to see you. Thank you. Coming up next is a video message from FFE scholar Priyanka Mohan, who is currently pursuing her final year MBBS from Shimoga Institute of Medical Sciences. Let us now listen to what Priyanka has to say.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Priyanka Mohan. I'm a final year MBBS student in Shimoga Institute of Medical Sciences. My father is a daily wage worker. He supplies packaged drinking water to small shops, and my mother is a housewife. I secured 97% in 10th standard and 95% in PUC. My entrance test rank in KCET was 883. I'm very interested in dermatology, and I'm working towards continuing my studies and doing my post-graduation in the same field. Apart from studies, I'm a part of my college volleyball team, and I also enjoy playing violin. I got to know about FFE through a friend who was also a recipient of the scholarship. This scholarship has helped me a lot financially and even academically through their regular newsletters and online seminars. I too hope to contribute to this foundation in the future and help many more students like me. I'm very grateful to FFE and my donor, Sybil Union. I'm also thankful to my facilitator, Tej Arora sir, for his guidance through these past 3 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Priyanka. We have another video message from FFE scholar Samarth Shetty, who's currently doing his final year engineering from PES University, Bangalore. Let us now listen to Samarth's message. Can we have Samarth's message, please? Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Myself, Samarth Shetty. I am currently pursuing my 4th year BTech at PES University. I come from a family background where my mom is a housewife and my dad is into agriculture. So studying in a prestigious college like PES University in Bangalore was kind of a big deal to me. At this point of time, I got to know about FFE through one of my batchmates and I got myself immediately enrolled into it. I got financial support throughout the year continuously all the 4 years. And also, along with the financial support, what I want to mention here is FFE is not only about the financial support, it is much more than that. It has spoken English courses to each and every one of its students, and also I got enrolled into skill development courses, which helps you a lot in your career. And also it gives you the AMCAT annual test, which actually tells you how good you are in things, which tells you at what level you are in this competitive world. Along with this, I would like to thank my facilitator, Mr. Mahesh Bondal, and also my donors for Source Solution. I would also like to give this back to the society through FFE so that people like me can come up in their life. Dreams must not be destroyed. Dreams must be lived. And I would like to thank each and every one of you in this journey of mine.
Thank you, Samarth. FFE introduced its law program last financial year, supported by Mr. Mahesh Krishnamurthy and the OMDR Network India Advisors Private Limited. Today we have Arijit Kumar, a final year law scholar at National Law School of India, University, Bangalore, who would like to share his message with us. Let us now hear it from him.
Hello everyone, I am Arjit Kumar, currently in my final year of BLLB Honours course at National Law School of India, University, Bangalore. I basically come from Kanpur and my father works in a private transport company and my mother is a housewife. I came to know about FFE last year in my college. I cleared the common law admission test and got admission into NLSIU. In my college, I have been a part of IDIA committee which works for sensitizing underprivileged students about law as a viable career option and mentors them. I have also been part of various various college committees such as Security, Disciplinary and General Management Committee and Sports Com Committee. At my college, I have participated in 2 national moot court competitions. FFE has supported me in my journey at law school. I am thankful to FFE and its team, my donor Mr. Mahesh Krishnamurthy sir and my facilitator Mr. Prabhakara AK sir for their constant support to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Arijit. We would like the scholars to now participate in another poll that will come up on your screen. Meanwhile, I urge you to continue posting your questions on the Q&A box. I request you all to please fill in the poll. As mentioned earlier, at the start of the event, I am pleased to let you all know that this year FFE conducted 10 virtual open houses till date, and this is the 11th and the last one for this year. So I'm so glad all of you are here to be a part of this event with us. In FFE's history, this is the first time we have reached out to over 4,000 scholars across 27 states pan-India. So this is indeed a proud moment for all of us. I request you all to take the poll. We'll just wait for another minute or so. Please note that after the formal session, we will be having an informal session addressing all questions related to the scholarship program. This is specifically for the scholars. So we request you to continue posting your questions in the Q&A box. Couple of seconds more, and we will continue with the program. All right, thank you so much for answering the poll questions. This event won't be complete without recognizing our alumni whose time and support in all forms is deeply valued by us. We are thankful to all FFE alumni who are joining us today. We have a lovely video message from alumni and mentor, Mr. Venkatraghavan Hegde, who graduated in the year 2012 and is currently working with Harman Connected Services, Bangalore. Venkat was instrumental in connecting FFE to his previous organization, Aptiv Components India Private Limited, who are now one of FFE's donors. Here is what Venkat has to say.
Hello everyone, I am Venkatraghavan Hegde, an FFE scholar, graduated in 2012 from BMS College of Engineering. Currently, I am working as a senior systems engineer at Harman International. I am always thankful to FFE for supporting a farmer son to become an engineer. Over the years, FFE has transformed from a scholarship provider to a scholar empowerment platform. So I urge all the current scholars to make use of this platform judiciously for your betterment. Over the last year, I have been associated with FFA mentoring program. I urge all the fellow alumni to come forward to mentor the current scholars and also contribute back financially as much as you can, because together we can make the difference. Thank you.
Thank you, Venkat, and I hope you have joined us this evening. We truly appreciate the fact that you have stayed connected to FFE. We have another video message and a last one from another alumni and mentor, Mr. Prashant Habib, who graduated in 2008 from BVB College of Engineering and Technology, Hubli, and is currently working with Robert Bosch in Japan. Can we please have his message?
Hello everyone, my name is Prashant Habib. I am an FFA alumni. I received FFA scholarship from 2004 to 2008, which helped me complete my education without any problems. From 2008 onwards, I have been in regular touch with FFE, like a volunteer for some of the activities and as a mentor now. And I would request all the FFE students and alumni to be part of FFE and to get in touch with FFE and to be part of Circle of Giving, so that FFE can cater to many needy students like us, and which in turn helps FFE to be a self-sustaining organization without having to depend on any external funding. Thank you.
Thank you, Prashant, and we look forward to your continued support to FFE. And with this, we have come to the end of today's session. On behalf of the board, management, and team at FFE, I would like to thank each one of you for being with us today. This event was made possible only because of your support. Our sincere thanks, Ms. Geeta Goyal, for your time and presence. Heartfelt gratitude to all our corporate and individual donors present today. Thank you, Mrs. Shashikala Arora and Mr. Nagaraja S., FFE scholars Priyanka, Samarth, and Arijit, and FFE alumni Venkat Raghavan and Prashant for sharing your insightful videos. Thank you, respected facilitators, for your valuable time. We truly appreciate all the good work you are doing. And special thanks to all the students and alumni present here. Last but not the least, thank you, Dr. Sudha, for your continuous support, and to the FFE team for organizing this event. Special thanks to Priyanka Ramesh, Padmashri Shetty, Sharda Lakshmi, Shubha Biradar, Tanvi Rawat, and Srividya for their seamless coordination and ensuring that this event is successful. Thank you all very much. Before we begin the Q&A session, I would like to let you all know that there is a feedback form that will pop up on your screen when you end this meeting. Please take a minute to fill this survey. We will also send the link through email. I would like to quickly share the results of the second poll that we had, and then maybe get started with the Q&A session. It's very interesting to see that most of the scholars have renewed their scholarship, and that is good news, but we still have about 40% who are yet to do that. We will talk more about this in the Q&A session. It's really a pleasure to see that the training program has benefited so many students, especially the English training program. I can see that most of the students, yes, here are connected to FFE on LinkedIn and Facebook. So this is really, good results to see. And thank you all so much for taking this poll. I would like to hand over to Jennifer, the manager for skills development and training, to address the audience. Jennifer, over to you.
Thank you, Pratna. Good evening, all. I'm here to address the engineering scholars about the AMCAT test and the related trainings offered. So everyone works hard to get the dream jobs. But however, the demand for jobs is always higher than the supply of jobs. Therefore, you need to do something that will get you into the limelight. So this is where AMCAT comes into picture. I'm sure most of you are aware of this word AMCAT, at least the engineering scholars. So what is AMCAT? This is an employability exam which judges you based on your skills and your readiness to join the corporate workforce. This assessment shows you the reality of where you stand and how polished your skills are. So you can get a better understanding of your strength and weakness. And let me tell you, unless you clear your first round of interview, which is a written test similar to the AMCAT test, you will not be able to portray your technical talent to the interviewer. So this is where FFE and its partners, MSDF and Capgemini, had planned to organize several programs where you can have areas of improvement like English and aptitude. So you need to take these programs seriously as these are life-changing opportunities. Make use of these programs given to you and show improvement in the upcoming AMCAT test. By this, you can groom yourself with more confidence and become corporate ready. In this moment, I would like to thank Michael and Susan Dell Foundation and Capgemini for partnering with us in this skills training program. I would quickly like to share a video of an FFE scholar who graduated this year, sharing his feedback and thoughts about the training program and how it helped him in placements. Pratna, can we have the video, please?
Hi everyone, my name is Mayur and I have recently graduated from NIT Warangal. The FFE organization not only helps their scholars economically, but it also provides some educational programs and educational courses which helps the scholars achieve their career goals. So there was the AMCAT program in my second year. So that AMCAT program taught me many useful things which helped me cracking my internship interviews as well as placement interviews. So there was this Hello English app provided by FFE. Under that app course, I learned the speaking skills, and because of that I can speak fearlessly and fluently in English. Apart from this, there was the another course which taught us qualitative and quantitative aptitude, which taught the tips and tricks of solving really difficult problems in seconds, which also helped me cracking the interview rounds of the companies. And I really thank FFE for providing the support I needed in my career path and helped me achieve my career goals, and I'll be very happy to provide the same help and support to incoming batches. And thank you so much.
So that was a very inspiring message from Mayur. I think now we can start the Q&A session. Over to you, Pratna.
Yeah, thank you, Jennifer. Before we wrap up today's open house event and start with the Q&A session, I would request Dr. Sudha Kidau to address the audience.
Thank you, Pratna. I want to thank all of you, students, our alumni, our volunteers, and our donors from various companies, as well as I'm sorry I just turned on my video. I'm sorry about that. I just want to say thank you to everyone for participating, our donors, our sponsors, and all the individuals whose contributions have made a difference. Thank you to Ms. Geeta Goyal as well and the Michael and Susan Dell Foundation for their long partnership and support of FFE's programs, first with scholarships and now skills training. And I know that this is making a difference, particularly in these difficult times when jobs are going to be difficult to get by, and your skills will set you apart from others, and hopefully every one of you will succeed in achieving your goals. I also want to thank Mr. Suresh Seshan for joining us this evening. As I mentioned, he is our first managing trustee of the Foundation for Excellence India Trust. And my heartfelt thanks to all of you for making this evening and this event a priority, and for attending it, and for your support. Facilitators, please continue to work with us. We need you this year more than ever before, differently, and Shubha and the team will reach out to let you know how it's going to be different from previous years. And to students, scholars, we are going to tell you exactly how quickly you can apply for your scholarships. But thank you all the participants, for making this our last event a wonderful one. We had over 925 participants today, and I think this is a new record for FFE. Very, very happy to see all of you part of this growing family. It's great to connect and extend our hands to each other as this family grows. There's over 6,000 students, just the students from last year. So I'm happy to be part of this big family, and I hope all of you are as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Sudha. And with this, we come to the end of the formal event. Once again, I would like to thank our scholars, alumni, facilitators, donors, and guests who have joined us this evening. Thank you very much.
I would
We shall
like to
now
say one
begin
more thing.
with the Q&A session.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to say thank you to our wonderful team. I think, you all are here. You've worked very hard on all the events, not just these events, everything that we do at FFE, our programs, all our various programs. So I want to thank our entire FFE team. Many of you are in different parts of India. We wouldn't know that because the work gets done. And I know how hard all of you work. Although it's work from home, there are challenges. I'm truly, truly thankful for being there and for doing such a wonderful job. Thank you to the FFE team.
Thank you, Sudha. Over to you, Tanvi, to take on the Q&A session.
Thank you so much, Pratna. And Sudha, I don't want you to stop just yet. There are some more questions which are coming your way.
Okay.
And I'm very happy to see that students are not only asking questions about their own challenges, but they also want to know what challenges has FFE faced in their journey of 25 years. So there are a few questions where students have asked, was there any point wherein the founder team of FFE felt that let's quit, let's not do it anymore? What were the challenges? And would you like to answer that as well?
Yes, I think, I don't think that was a thought that ever occurred. Because I think we knew that we were doing things to the best of our ability. And also, we also knew that when we spoke to individuals who were hearing about FFE for the first time, they were all interested in trying to get involved in making a difference. And it could be either volunteer activities or even substantial donations. And I think what's happened over the years is everybody has been convinced, thanks to all of you students, and for your outstanding work and your performance academically and your careers, that really we are doing the right thing. And I think I don't think that has ever been a thought that we would give up. All that's happened over the years is we have grown, and I think that will continue. And a lot of it, of course, is dependent on how much the alumni get involved and how they will take this organization, become leaders, and really take it to the next level.
Thank you, Sudha. And we also have Mr. Anil with us today, and it's really an honor to have you with us today, Mr. Anil. Thank you so much for joining us from US. I know it's really early there, and you still could take out time for this session. So thank you so much. Would you like to say a few words? Because the students, they definitely know that there is a team in India who's working for them, with them. But some of them may not know that there is an equally hardworking team in US who's working thoroughly for this scholarships and all the programs. Would you like to say a few words?
Thank you, Tanvi. This is Anil, and I came to US nearly 30 years back, and I've been in the Silicon Valley. And I met Prabhu Goyal nearly 25 years back when he moved from Boston to Bay Area. So Prabhu and Poonam have been our family friend long time because our kids and their kids are of same age, and we have been so fortunate to be associated with the FFE. So I have been always participating with FFE, for many years, and have been going to the gala and understanding what FFE does. But last year, what happened was that Prabhu asked me, that Anil, would you have time to help us out with the database, with the application that we use to track all the donors, I said, I will be very happy. And at my age, it became a inspiration and a mission, something to really meaningfully do, and so I'm so pleased, I'm so happy. And certainly, I see the team in India, Tanvi and Sudha and Prarthana, wonderful people. And, we have been so lucky to have you all there. And the team works so well, and I'm proud of our students, they do so much, and I was viewing the, videos of the scholars and the alumni and the facilitators, so wonderful people. And here in the US, I'm feeling that we ought to tell them more about what our team is doing in India and more stories, then we can certainly, motivate more donors here, to try to, in US Indians have been very successful. I mean, certainly whatever the reason is, Indians are, I feel they are superior in the brain power. They can do much, much more. They've achieved so much. I mean, all of you know it. I mean, all the big companies here, starting with Google, Microsoft, all the companies are headed by Indians only. I mean, so proud of the people. And, in America, I mean, we get so much respect by all Americans and everybody because they believe, we can do so well, So the idea is that, with the real story about FFE, more we can tell them, we can motivate them, and we can certainly get more money, and we can then start, giving scholarship to many more students in India. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm very, very happy. It keeps me busy, motivated, and I enjoy it. It's not that, I'm doing, it's giving me pleasure doing all the work that I do for FFE, and certainly a wonderful team. I hope this coronavirus goes away, or our, all the professionals or the brain, or, starting from Bill Gates, all these people can find some solution to the coronavirus. Then I can travel to India and come and meet you people in person in Bangalore, That's my thought here, and I really appreciate it. Thanks for giving me a chance. And certainly I'm going to talk to Sudhaji and Pratna and you and get more ideas. And I would like to have a similar kind of open house for all the donors here, seriously. It will be so wonderful so that they know the real story, what goes on in India and how well we do. And certainly I'm so proud to be associated with FFE. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Mr. Anil.
Thank you, Anil.
It's always, it gives us immense support, and it gives us immense motivation to see people like you who are working voluntarily for the organization and giving their everything to this organization and to this cause. So thank you so much once again. Students also want to know a few questions about Dr. Prabhu Goel, but unfortunately he's not joining us live today. But we are sure we'll be able to get him live on one of our sessions very soon, and probably all of you can ask those questions to him then and his journey to FFE then. In the meantime, we'll take up some more questions. So there's a question, and I believe it's one of our facilitators who wants to know, can the facilitators know each other better and more, and can we meet more often, and what is the plan for the facilitators? Would you like to say that?
Shubha, do you want to take that? But I just wanted to say that we at FFE, we want to organize a virtual meet. We want to do a virtual meet for all our facilitators so that everybody from different parts of India can come together, and we can see how we can work together, collaborate, exchange ideas, and take it from there. We certainly have that plan, and hopefully we'll be able to let you know very soon about tentative dates for exactly this, to bring you all together onto a common platform. And Shubha, would you like to say anything more?
Yes, Sudha. I mean, I would like to just add to it, saying that yes, we are planning a session for all the facilitators, and soon we will be having such a session where we would invite you. Please join, and we would like to hear ideas from you. There are a few changes also for online verification this year, and we would like to give you a session about how we are going to do that online verification. So definitely we will be, and during that time, we will introduce you to the other facilitators who will be joining the program. So you will get a platform. Also we have created WhatsApp groups now of facilitators according to states. You can always message your ideas there and get to know other facilitators. If you have any suggestions, we are most welcome to please write to us. We can always discuss with Sudha and implement them. Over to you, Tanvi.
Yeah, thanks, Shubha. Sudha, there's a question coming from Amol Kambar. He says that many of us are in the final year of our course, and we are looking for jobs and internships, and we feel tired by looking ours and our family situation. He says, what is your inspiration? What keeps you going, that you're managing your life and also the life of students like us?
So I think, you have to look for positive in every situation, you know. And I think I always look at ways to solve problems, and what is the way to do that in a situation. How do you cope with it? Look for something positive and find a solution. And I think all of these you know, work together. I know for you students it probably feels like the future is bleak, and these are tough times for my family, these are tough times for me, and all of that is very real. I think one has to acknowledge that these are difficult times, and like Ms. Geeta Goel said, what you do and make the best of the worst of the times, right? And if you have access to classes readily, online classes that are free, and there are plenty of those, how best can you use your time to upskill so that you have an advantage at the end of these, you know, this year maybe, or the end of the academic year, where you have actually added to your resume. You made it a little bit more robust, and you feel good about yourself. I think everybody feels good when they learn, and they feel like I've added to my life. I've learned something, and like Ms. Goel said, to actually pause and think, you know, how can we do something for the community around me? You know, what can I do in my own small way? And nothing is too small. You know, you have to take it one step at a time, and there's so much joy that you derive from doing something small for someone else. And I think I'm hoping that FFE constantly reminds you that, you know, pay forward, look and see what you can do for people around you. Be empathetic, be compassionate, and I think then the magic happens. And believe me, things are only going to get better, right? How could COVID get worse than it is? I think we're there. We are at, you know, it's really, the numbers are rising, and then it'll all flatten out and we'll have a vaccine, and it's positive from that point on. It is the way I look at it. And I think things are going to turn around. There will be jobs, and our normal is going to be different, but certainly we're already beginning to see that things are looking better than it was. So hang in there, and you know, things will actually change for the better.
Thank you, Sudha. Just want to add, students, that we've been organizing not just the virtual open houses, we've been organizing a lot of other sessions for the scholars. Your donors are coming forward and they are organizing sessions for the scholars. We have organized a couple of sessions on mental well-being as well, and on sessions on topics like how to cope up with the stress that we are all facing during these difficult times. And we will continue to organize such sessions in future also. So please just keep on reading your emails. Don't miss any email or any communication from FFE. Whenever there is such a session coming up, we will definitely let you know, and you can learn a lot. It will help you get a positive outlook, definitely. So moving on, Sudha, there are some more questions on the alumni front. Pratna, if you want to answer the first question that has come, and the student wants to know, how can we pay back to FFE? How can we be a part of the FFE family, even after passing out?
Okay, so I can see the question is, being a second and third year or final year, how a scholar can contribute back to FFE. As a scholar, I can, you know, think of just, you know, helping your fellow FFE scholars, maybe your juniors, you know, mentoring them, coaching them, helping them. But as an alumni, and there are one or two questions that I see where, you know, people have asked how you can connect back as an alumni. All I want to say is stay connected. It could be in the form of contributing to FFE as a mentor, as a facilitator, any which way. Just stay connected with FFE. Connect with us on LinkedIn and on Facebook. So we're trying to build a network of both alumni and scholars, so you all can help each other. And, you know, also answering another question, if they can have referrals in companies, all this is possible if you are connected with us on social media. So please go ahead and connect with us. We are posting the links to both LinkedIn and Facebook, and do connect, and there you can meet with the alumni as well, who will help you.
Yeah, thank you, Pratna, for the question. Shubha, I think you would like to answer this question. Facilitators are asking if is it possible for them to get an ID card for the facilitators? I think it is come from one of the facilitators.
Currently, we provide all the facilitators with a unique identification number. It is like FFE UID, and then you have a 6-digit number. Sudha, do you have any thoughts on that about an ID card for the facilitators?
Well, I think it's a great idea and something that we'll have to discuss and see how best, if it were to be issued, how best and how useful it would be, and what additional value would it bring to our current system. But certainly something that we'll be happy to consider.
Sure. Thank you, Sudha.
So I think that was the questions that were not related to the scholarship. All the questions are related to scholarship now. Shubha, over to you.
Yeah.
I can start with the scholarship question.
All right. Thank you, Tanvi. Scholars, I saw that about 60% of you have renewed your application, and you people have a lot of questions, and I would like to show a short presentation to you so that I can answer all your questions. I hope you all can see my screen. Okay.
We can see.
Yes. All right. Thank you. I'm happy to announce that we have opened the prelim application window today. This information is for all you scholars, for all the facilitators as well. The scholarship policy, is being delayed, but will be circulated shortly. The scholars request all of you to tell your juniors, whoever are in need of scholarship, to start applying. Facilitators, if you have identified any students, please ask them to start applying from today. They can go to the website and click on apply, and then the prelim form will be there. They can fill up the prelim form. Coming to the renewals, 31st October 2020 is the last date for renewing your application. I have given you here a snapshot of how many students from Karnataka have not yet applied. We see that about 910 students are there in Karnataka, total renewal students. Out of that, only about 143 have not yet applied. The majority being in about 15 in NIT Surathkal, 13 in BMS College of Engineering, 10 from RV, 10 from UEC, and about 43 from Bangalore Medical College, and about 5 from Shimoga Institute of Medical Sciences. So students, I urge you all to please renew your application before October 31st. You will not have a chance to create your renewal application after October 31st. Okay. The thing is, you can upload. I know that most of you do not have your documents, like some of you do not have your odd and even semester marks cards. Some of the colleges have not asked you all to pay the fees, so you don't have the fee receipts. You'll have not gone back to hostel, and so you don't have the hostel and mess receipts. It does not matter. Create your application with the basic documents which you have. I will talk about the documents which you already have with you in the next slide. And you can always upload the missing documents after October 31st. The key is to first create your application. Okay. Another important point I want to emphasize: this year, because of the pandemic, we are not looking for attestation. Do not approach your facilitators or your college authorities for attestation. Upload your documents without attestation. All right. Proceeding further, yeah, this slide is to talk to you about the documents. The good news about Karnataka is most of the colleges, I think you all have received your even and odd semester grade cards, from what I hear from my team. And I think most of the colleges have also asked you to pay some kind of a fees to move to your next academic year. So that is very good. And let us go one by one through the documentation. As I told you, the bona fide certificate is issued by the college each year to you. So since you're not in college, do not worry about the bona fide certificate. Just upload your college ID card. Some of you have mentioned to us that you have left your college ID card in your hostel itself. So in that case, please just upload your registration document. You would have received some kind of a receipt or a document in which it is mentioned that what is the amount you would have paid to register for your next academic year, which will mention your college name, which will mention which year of which year of course you are studying in. That is sufficient. Upload that in the place of bona fide. Okay. Do not worry. Do not travel anywhere for getting your bona fide certificate this year. Bank passbook copy, it will be same as what you have uploaded last year. Please upload the same thing. And statement of expenses, if some of the colleges have given us a statement of expenses for 2020-21, like NIT Surathkal, etc., please upload that. If you do not have it, you can upload the previous year statement of expenses, not to worry about it. Oath and pledge document and parent declaration. This is these two documents we have changed this year. We have made modifications to this document. Download this from your renewal form. You will find it as a provided as a hyperlink in the renewal application. Click on that, it will download, save it onto your PC. Please sign, ask your parents to sign on that, and then scan and upload these two documents. If you have for some reason not downloaded from your renewal application, approach us, we will send you the copies. Coming to letter of thanks to the donor, this is a letter, a Word document, not the PDF like the rest of the documents. Write a note to your donor. I want you all to express your what you have done in your academic year, what are the trainings you have received, what are the extracurricular things you all have done, some heartfelt things which you feel. Please express it to your donor. The donor, this is conveyed to the donor, and the donor feels very happy to read these letters coming from the students. Odd semester grade card. I'm sure most of the colleges have provided you all with provisional grade cards. I will show you RV College of Engineering, and I think we want you to upload your provisional grade card with the college seal, which is at the bottom of it. Do not cut off the seal. Along with the seal, we want you to upload the provisional grade card. And even semester grade card also, I know that most of the colleges have issued, some have issued results in a bunch along with other students. No issues. Ensure that your name of the college is mentioned at the top, and then you highlight the row where your grades are mentioned and upload that. I will show you two samples from Pesit College, which you have uploaded, downloaded from the portal. I want to specify two things which I will just show you in a short while. Fee receipts, if your college, most of the colleges have asked you all to pay some kind of fee receipts for the next year. Please upload that. Do not worry about hostel and mess receipts. We know that you're taking classes from home, doing online courses, so online classes, so you have not paid hostel and mess. In case your college has asked you to pay some hostel fees, club it along with the college fees receipts and upload it as one document. If it is not there, do not worry, just upload the college fees document. Moving ahead. Yeah. So this is specifically for medical students. I know that the MCI has issued a guideline that first year medical exams have not been conducted. You're expected to go back to college, and within 1 or 2 months of attending the college, your exams will be conducted. No worries. You click on the ticker which comes, and this particular window will pop up. Please choose year 2 SEM 3, even though you are in first year right now. Please choose year 2 SEM 3 when you are applying, and whatever grading system you have, class or CGPA. If you have not received your results, like for example, if you're an MBBS first year student, you wouldn't have received your results, not written your exams, leave it blank. It is a optional field. And currently, whatever is mandatory, you can fill, like, if there is a failure ATKT, fill it. If you don't know, just fill no right now. We can change it later. Okay, and submit this. The moment you submit this, your application gets created and you can upload the documents. And while uploading the documents, like I told you in the second slide, upload whatever is the basic documents like oath and pledge, your bona fide, your passbook copy, letter of thanks. If you do not have the grade cards, etc. The grade cards you can always upload after October 31st. It's not an issue. Okay, coming to MBBS second year students, I saw one question. The student said that it lasts for 1.5 years. We know that you'll be expected to pay fees only in February. Quite understandable. Upload those same receipts as last year. We know how to calculate that. We will go ahead and do it. Okay. Third year students should not have a problem. You have your results with you, and I'm sure you'll have paid some kind of fees also. So please upload that. Okay, what you should not do. Do not create your renewal application on the mobile phone, because some of the pick list does not work on it properly. Use a laptop or a computer. And even when you're replacing your document, some of you are facing that missing documents error. Replace all the documents and click on the submit button provided at the end of the page, and then the submit button at the middle of the page, and that will submit the application successfully. If you have not uploaded all the documents, leave the application incomplete. The application will be with us. It will be incomplete. You can always log in again and upload the documents. When you have uploaded all the documents, at that time you can click on submit. Please upload as far as possible your receipts. Only the exceptions is for medical students, but otherwise all receipts should be after June 2020. Like I already said, bona fide certificate can be replaced by college ID card. Oath and pledge, like I said, please take the new documents. Grade cards, ensure that your roll number, your name, and your college name are visible on the grade card when you take a snapshot, when you take a screenshot of your grade card from the college portal. I'll quickly share with you 2 grade cards which I have. Just a moment, Prarthana. I'll just take another 2 minutes. I have one of NIT Surathkal. Yeah, this is of PES University. Here I want to tell you, as you see, the name is visible here. Please ensure that your name is visible before you're taking your snapshot of the results. Also, your credits, your SGPA should be made visible. Your grade should be made visible, and the subjects. The complete thing should be taken as a screenshot and uploaded. Okay, this is for PES University. Giving you an example. Coming to NIT Surathkal, some of you are receiving it, you have your provisional grade cards. Some of you are taking it from the college portal. Please check here. You have to focus on your photograph here, like I shown here, and only then your name is visible here. Otherwise, your name is not there in this grade card at all. So we want you to show this name and then take a snapshot of the grade card. I hope this has helped some of you. Answered some of your questions. I've tried to answer the rest of it on the Q&A box. Tanvi, Prarthana, over to you.
Yeah, Shubha, I think there's one more question. Students asking that I don't have a laptop. Can he be helped with a laptop?
Tanvi, I think Sudha is the best person to answer that question.
So I wanted to say that we understand that it's a difficult situation, but since the the scholarship cap is at 40,000, I think the tuition and fee will be a higher priority in and what you get in scholarship would cover that. So that is a higher priority for FE, and we'll take into account your request. And I think several students have expressed, exactly what you're saying, that there is a need for a laptop. And as you all know, the current scholarship amount is only 40,000. So unfortunately, it will not cover the cost of a laptop. But we certainly put your requests and we'll take it to the board and to the donors as well. Thank you. Unfortunately, we're not able to help you with that.
Shubha, there are some more questions for the students who are coming from lateral entry, or they're changing colleges in the second year. They're asking what is the process for that?
Right. Yeah, I try to answer some of them by typing in the answer, Tanvi. Well, for students who have received scholarship from FFE in the first year, and if you have changed your college, since you're coming from a poor background, we would like to help you out. No issues. Get in touch with us. Write to scholarships@ffe.org with giving your specifications, your FFE UID which you have used last year. We will look into it and we'll let you know how to apply again for the first year. There will be a reduced scholarship amount because you will be receiving scholarship for 5 years, but we will surely take into account that part. Over to you, Tanvi.
Shubha, I think a couple of last questions that students may be facing some technical difficulties when they're uploading their documents. Some of them are saying that there's an error message that shows please populate actual student college fee. Some of them are saying that it says submit all the documents.
Okay. Yeah, so students, when you're filling up the renewal form, before you upload your fee receipts, there is a placeholder where you need to enter what is the value of the receipts. That is the error you're getting. You enter the value of your receipt, like what is the college fees you're paid. For example, if you're paid 10,200, enter that value there. If you've paid nothing for hostel, enter 0, nothing for transportation, 0, enter 0 values wherever you've not paid anything for the other kind of fees, and then you can upload that particular receipts. What was the second question, Tanvi, you said? The missing documents, yeah. So students, you need to understand one thing. If you have all the documents and if you're still getting that particular error, replace all the documents in one session and then click on submit at the bottom of the page and submit at the middle of the page. Suppose you don't have all the documents. For example, if you don't have a grade card and you have all of the documents, then leave the application as is. We get all the documents at our end, not to worry at all. And it will be in incomplete status. You can only submit when you have all the documents. You can only click on submit after you have all the documents. Yeah, Tanvi, over to you.
Shubha. Shubha, a few questions that I can see in the chat box also about the bank, changing of the bank account for any reason.
Right.
So students are asking, can we change the bank account number? Is it okay to change it in the application?
Of course, you can edit your bank account details. We understand that some of the banks have merged and I think Bank of Baroda has taken over some of the banks. Many of students have got in touch with us. Log in into your profile. There is an edit button in the beginning of the page. You click on the edit. It's on the top of the page as well as at the bottom of the page. Click on it. You can always change your bank details. Do it carefully because there is one button there which says validate your IFSC code, and that is a mandatory thing to do. Please do click on that, validate your IFSC code. After that, you will be able to save it. If you're facing difficulties, write to us. We are there to help you. And then you should also upload the relevant passbook. When you're uploading the passbook, please upload the correct passbook whose details you have entered in the profile page. I hope it answers your questions. Yeah, Tanvi?
So students, it's not just your bank account details that you have to put as correct. You have to put all your information that is asked. It has to be correct. It has to be authenticated. And if ever we find out that you are forging documents or that the documents are not correct, not issued by the colleges, we will stop your scholarship then and there. So please make sure that you're not doing anything with your documents. If you're facing any challenges, talk to us, talk to the scholarships team. You have been given a scholarships team's ID wherein you can reach out to the scholarships teams. They will answer each and every question, each and every query of yours. But please don't try to come up with innovative methods in order to just finish off with the application process. So thank you, Shubha. I think you've answered most of the questions. For any questions that you may still have, please reach out to us and we will still be answering your questions even after the open houses are over. So Sudha, over to you now, and would you like to wrap up the session and some words from you?
So I wanted to say again to all of you, our FFE team. I think it's been 11 events, 11 successful events. Not just the events. I mean all the programs that you all run. So I want to say thank you, and I think on behalf of the students, the board, and everyone associated with the foundation, I want to say thank you to all of you. The FFE team. I'm so proud of what you all have been able to accomplish. And I want to say thank you, students. We are doing our very best to make it easy for you all. We are, as you can see, Shubha has mentioned, we are being a little bit more lenient and flexible this year, so that you can upload and submit what you have, which we'll be able to accommodate. As Shubha mentioned, there's no need for attestation. So I want to say, please make submitting a complete application a priority. All of you are expected to have created your application, as Shubha mentioned, by October 31st. And you can always go back and add to your application, but you need to have created your application before October 31st. So thank you, students. Thank you to all our facilitators for making time. It's been a long event. Thank you for being patient and being a part of this. Our donors and our alumni, thank you all. And I think, we will now face the challenges that come with the application forms in the next few weeks. So we're looking forward to receiving complete applications. And thank you all for this wonderful event. Like I mentioned, we had over 925 participants, a record for FFE. Thank you.
Indeed, a record, Sudha. So students, just be sure that we will still be in touch with you. We will still be calling you and following up with you. So with this open house event, it doesn't mean that we have broken our communication with you. We will still be calling you, and we will still be hosting more events in this year itself. So please participate in those events. People will reach out to you from scholarships teams, from alumni team, from mentorship team, from the skills and training team, and from the donor team, for you to inform you about all the activities that we are planning for the upcoming months. So please keep up this enthusiasm, this excitement that we have shown through these events. And we hope to see you all very soon in person. But until then, stay safe and take care of yourselves. Fill your applications on time. That's very important. And we'll see you soon. Thank you so much. Thanks, Pratna. Thank you, Shubha, for joining us. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Anil. And thank you all the facilitators once again for staying for the event. There are at least 10 of them who are still here. So thank you so much for staying up to the end of this event. Thank you very much. It means a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.